All right, Johnny. Well, I'd like to thank you again for hosting us again for another session. I believe at the last meeting you guys had, there was some discussion on the president's time off provisional.
Yes, sir.
As far as the language. So we have, I put it in TA format. If you guys want to take a look at it. It does remove the modified portion of it, and it puts it at the discretion of city council regarding that last sentence that you guys were discussing.
Thank you, Gabe.
Yes, sir.
I just need to confer with my team real quick.
Okay.
We can do that at the first conference.
Okay.
On the surface, it looks okay.
Yes, sir.
I think at our last meeting, we had asked Eddie to look at a couple of things. Did we have any information on that?
So Eddie started to run the numbers, but the way that they're coming up, we're not really comfortable with sharing that right now.
Okay.
They're still trying to figure out the calculations on it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think I just want to say a few things before we go any further, and I'm probably going to want to caucus with my team real quick. But I think Corpus Christi is probably one of the greatest cities in Texas, if not the greatest city on the Gulf Coast. We have a 24/7 fire department. We run an ALS system. We have 14 medic units. We have 2, if not 3, medic units that are continuously, top 10, top 20 in the nation as far as call volume. We have 25 frontline apparatus that are staffed, 90% paramedics. It's a really robust system that we have here, and it's very unique in Texas. I think the closest fire department you'll find in Texas is going to be Grand Prairie, right up around Dallas. Talking about Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, they all run hybrids of what we run here in Corpus. And one of the nice things too is Corpus Christi Fire Department's the only non-taxing entity that puts money in the general fund. I think to the tune of around $8.5, $9 million a year. And then of course we got the TAFs money that we put in there as well. And all that brings value to all of us, even as just plain citizens. In 2020, we had this little thing called COVID-19, and the fire department was a very integral part in the city's efforts to mitigate that problem for our citizens. And the fire department was probably hands down one of the most important pieces of that puzzle. I know that Mayor Guajardo put together I called it a hot shot, but I think she called it something else. Trying to remember what it was. But, we administered over 12,500 shots to the disadvantaged citizens of Corpus Christi, and we didn't have the luxury of going home and working from home, and 24/7 our guys were on shift, and some of them were, got sick and all those types of things. And I think that was, that was even evident in other cities and even within our own police department, but it just goes to show that, and I know you guys believe that, the fire department brings way more value than any of us can ever imagine to this city. I think with that, I'm probably going to want to caucus let me talk to my team. Can you tell me, so we asked for you to run that number, and you're not comfortable sharing that. Is it because it's too much or too little?
It's more than I think it should be, the cost of the steps. So I think there's something wrong with the calculations, so I just want to go back and look at everything again.
You want me to help you with it?
Sure.
I'm just playing. Okay, I mean, I think what we're trying to do on our side, Michael and Gabe, is we're going to present something. We don't want to present you something that has a flaw in it. We want to know what we're talking about, if it's whatever the number is, that with some certainty of confidence, we can say that that's the number. It's not 5 million more, 10 million more, 5 million less. You know, we want to just, that's all we're trying to do. Let me caucus with my team.
Sure. Okay.
Gabe, thanks for waiting for us. On the tentative agreement you guys, or the proposal you guys have given us, we're comfortable TAing that. So this will be number 11.
TA number 11, yes, sir.
We appreciate you working with us on it. I think we've got that, Gabe. I need a little bit of time. We've got a package, but we need to tweak it a little bit.
Okay.
So if we could just take a caucus and, hopefully it doesn't take us too long.
That works?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Gabe. Good to see you guys again. Sorry it took us a little longer than we anticipated. I think today we've TA'd the provisional position.
Yes, sir.
We're going to give you a package proposal.
Okay.
And I'll walk through the package proposal for you. Give you, our take on that side. And with that, Chris, you want to help him?
I think John ready to give him good.
No, he gets one. My bad.
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Short one. Hey, short. Yeah, the short one.
For a short one?
We need one for me. Yeah.
Yeah, just, there's nothing else in there.
No, it's
Okay.
Neiman? Yeah.
So you should have, everybody's got theirs? You should have a package of proposals. One of them's going to be basically kind of like the format y'all gave it to us in. You know, the things that we know what they cost, but a lot of it needs to be costed. A lot of it needs to be costed out. So we'll start at the top. We'll use this sheet, and then there's a few that aren't going to be on the sheet that are actually proposals. We'll talk about those individually. The first item there is, of course, pay raise. We want you guys to look at an 8.344 at a 3.45 step restructure and a 0.05 top to bottom.
Okay. What do you mean by top to bottom on that?
So our pay scale is start 6, blah, 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 all the way to 120. From 120 back to the start of the next rank. We want that to be .005
Okay.
from the 120. And again, we think it's more important to get the math from you guys so we can see it, see where we're at and all those kinds of things. The next thing we have is the dog handler pay. You guys had given us a proposal on dog handler pay at $170 a month with a 1 hour overtime on days off. We're proposing the 1 hour per off day for care of the dog, but no assignment pay. The next one was it's one of our TAs. The on-call assignment, of course, naturally that's in there. And I mean, while we're talking about TAs, I'll just go ahead and tell you that all the TAs we have are in the package.
Okay.
So I didn't put any of them in here, I don't think.
Okay.
So, the next thing is the the specialty assignment pay. I think you guys had proposed it at $155 per month, and we're going to ask for one change. Instead of $155, for it to be at $175. Other than that, it's other than that, it's what you guys presented.
Okay.
The next item is going to be a new article or new division. It is firefighter driver operator assignment. And that's for the firefighter 2 rank driver position specifically, and specifically just those that are in 54 hours operation. And we're proposing that at $50. The one thing in that pay scale, even if we potentially fix it, is that a firefighter 2 EMS who promotes to a firefighter 2 driver takes a huge pay cut. Although it's a lateral move in the pay scale, they lose all the incentive pay. So we're hoping the 50 is not going to make up for it, but it'll help go a long way to fix that. The next article is Article 12, has to do with our HSA. It's our understanding that the HSA, I believe it's already started. It started this year. The new max out of pocket is $3,200. We're going to ask that you guys increase both our HSA contributions from $1,600 to $1,800, and then the $2,600 to $2,800. And we're going to propose that comes out of the fund balance. We estimated at about $60,000.
Johnny, just real quick on this one, I'm seeing the 60,000 for the increase in 2024, but wouldn't that increase carry over?
I believe that increase becomes a component of the formulary in the plan. That's a guess.
Okay.
Rebecca?
I'm going to defer
Or is it Desiree?
to Desiree on that, if we want to speak to it now or wait till after.
I would not have an immediate answer if that becomes a preliminary in the plan or not.
Art?
Would you
The
say
HSA, I don't have an immediate answer on that.
on the formulary?
I think it's in the formulary, so we really only have to pay for the first year. The formulary is going to pay for it after that.
It is in the formulary.
It is?
It is?
Yes.
It is.
So that initial year, we'd ask for it to come out of the fund balance. We have a very healthy fund balance at $7+ million. The next item is the deputy chief appointment. And what we're proposing is Chief Wade wants a deputy chief. We're more than willing to give him a deputy chief. Right now, he has 3 appointments in those ranks, assistant chief and deputy chief. We're willing to give you 4. It's not +4, it's just that extra deputy chief. We're more than willing to do that. The next articles are going to be Article 11. It's overtime pay for holidays. This is a new article. We're going to ask for overtime at the rate of 2 times our regular rate for work performed on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. I think you can see on the sheet, we took a stab at what it cost. That's just a best guess. So anyway, all other overtime be with Article 15. The next one is drag up on unused sick leave. You guys had given us a proposal. We looked it over. We've talked about it, and we're comfortable with that. It's fair. It's you know, I mean I can read it to you if you want me to, but it's y'all's proposal and we're okay with it.
Johnny, can we back up on the holiday overtime pay?
Yes, sir.
You have Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. You said Thanksgiving and Christmas. You have Easter in there.
Where?
At least on my copy you do.
Yeah.
On my
So it
copy.
has a holiday overtime rate, 2 times regular rate for work performed on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter.
That's that gremlin. We had a gremlin in the office. It's just Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Okay, I'm just asking, because you had 3 listed, but you only kind of did math for 2.
It's Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah. I apologize.
Easter buddy.
The next one I want to talk to you guys about is this is a new proposal. This is Article 16, it'd be a new Section 8, it's labeled catastrophic leave donations. We have, every city employee, including the cops, have a catastrophic leave type system, except for firefighters. We can't even donate to your plan. We have had instances in the past 2 or 3 years, and if you guys are okay with it, I'd like Cody to come up and give us a kind of an explanation of the leave, of the plan. You okay with that, Cody? Y'all okay with that?
Yes, sir.
So I guess for the first thing I'll kind of elaborate on what Johnny Ray said is we've had several instances past 5 years, 10 years. We've had several firefighters come down with cancer. We've had several firefighters have tragic deaths of spouses, children. And as he said, we have no way other than just our sick leave. We can't go to that catastrophic plan that other city employees have. So we're kind of suggesting that we do that amongst ourselves, right? So if you read the proposal, it's basically firefighters may donate accrued sick leave to another firefighter subject to the following, which means me being a firefighter, if I have enough hours on the books, which is all we'll go over in a minute, then I can basically donate a certain amount of sick hours to an individual that qualifies due to y'all's city's catastrophic plan and or an event that's approved by the fire chief himself. All right, so firefighters donating must have at least 400 hours of sick leave accrued before being eligible to donate sick leave to another firefighter, and under no circumstance shall a donating firefighter end with less than 350 hours. We don't want somebody to donate and then they end up in a problem themselves, right? And then we put stipulations on how much you can donate. We don't want somebody giving 500 hours away just to give 500 hours away. So you can only donate up to a max of 48 hours of sick leave to another individual, which for our 54 hours, that's 2 shifts, basically. And you can only do a total of 240 hours in the whole calendar year. As this is explained, it's 48 hours to 5 different individual firefighters or a single firefighter that has several different incidences, right? Along with the cancer patients, as sure as I know, Chief Mathajets and Chief Page can probably speak to it too, is we've had they have multiple surgeries. 6 months, a year later, it's an ongoing thing for 5, 10 years, even maybe a lifetime. So it just continues to draw down and they run out, right? So a firefighter receiving any donation must qualify, like I said, from y'all's catastrophic plan or an event approved by the fire chief. And this just allows us to help each other out. As of right now, if guys need some time off, of course they have their sick leave, but we do trades. And it's one thing to do a trade for somebody that's had this tragic accident or this tragic event, and then now you're required to pay them back at some other time. You know what I mean? Because that's a statute, we got to pay our trades back. So this just alleviates some of the pressure off guys that have such a tragedy happen, and it's at a voluntary basis of the actual individual firefighter. Hey, I got some hours, you need hours, but it's at a very minimal level, just to give a little bit of the catastrophic plan to kind of match what the city and PD have on a different level.
Yeah, thank you.
So the next one is also a new plan or a new proposal. And it'd be in Article 10, it's a new section, Section 9, Voluntary Wellness Programs. The fire chief and the association may mutually agree in writing to adopt a voluntary firefighter wellness program adjusted for age and gender. The city, at its sole discretion, may offer incentives either in pay or leave time if the association mutually agrees in writing. If the city and association agree to establish a firefighter wellness program, this program will also include a cancer screening initiative, distribution of nutrition, and fitness information during in-service training. And I think the largest component of that, a program like that, of course, is the cancer initiative. You know, I can't tell you how many times that if we'd have just caught it earlier, it wouldn't have cost our health insurance $1 million or, those types of things. And I know that the department is actively looking at a cancer program, cancer screening initiative. We think tying it together with a wellness and a fitness and a nutrition initiative just makes sense with the cancer initiative. So the next one in your book, it's going to be Article 8, Section 3. Again, this one isn't on the sheet. There's 3 or 4 of them that are not on that initial sheet. We would like to engage you guys with creating a association business leave bank. Currently, right now, we get 3 guys that are, of course, elected by the membership. They're each allowed 3 paid shifts off per year to attend conventions, whether it's national or state. The department's really worked with us over the years. The problem is what we take is 6 and 8. And we would just like to be able to use that type of system. We're asking for 1,500 hours. And what we're also going to ask to do is, there at the very end, is strike that last sentence. It's actually captured. We just moved it up, that's all we did.
And so those 1,500 hours, would that come from the city, or would that be donated time from firefighters?
We're asking it for the city to donate it.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I think so. You got any questions?
I guess we did the questions at the end.
Sure.
The next one's also a new article. It's Article 2 definitions. It's not a new article, I apologize. It's just, we want to redefine number 27 of the definitions. We think it goes well with y'all's specialty assignment proposal you've given us. We want to scratch the words boat, and then we want to scratch of 18 foot or larger that has a rated capacity to hold at least 8 individuals, and add that it's capable of performing water rescues. I believe in y'all's proposal, you have something that basically the chief designates those stations. So don't be scared that Station 9 has a boat. They're not designated as a water term.
Do you know if by changing this designation, it's going to adjust how many firefighters?
We don't think it changes anything. Changes nothing. Your 138 is 138. Our intent is not to add something. I think your proposal also says that a station that gets that pay only gets that pay. They don't get 2 pay.
Correct.
Right? So we're not trying to do anything. Do you have anything, Doug?
I was gonna say, isn't there a potential for agreements though, if that there's a boat that's assigned and?
No, I would come right back to the article on specialty assignment pay. Only the chief can designate a specialty station assignment. And that, right now, that's currently 5s, 1s, 13s, and 4s.
Okay.
It's not changing. I mean, the chief can move it, I guess, but
And so if it's not designated, you don't think any grievances will come to that?
I don't think so. I mean, I know they won't.
Okay. So on this one, I guess,
Well, let's open up your provision on, I mean, it came right out of your, firefighters who are regularly assigned to a designated hazmat station, rescue station, or water rescue station. That's very specific.
yes, sir.
I mean, I'm not an attorney. Our intent is not to increase the 138, unless the chief was to designate another station for something.
Yeah, and I think moving forward, it's just to keep the same designations. But obviously being able to add designations to different stations.
Yeah.
I'm a little uneasy with the wording of that part, Station 15, if they're out on the beach, they're capable of performing a water rescue, going in the water and getting somebody out. So I want to be careful with the
The
interpretation.
retort is, are they designated?
The
answer is
I'm
no,
just saying,
they're not.
but the definition of water boat station or a water rescue station is just somebody that's capable of performing water rescue. And I guarantee if you ask your guys out at Station 15 if they're capable of performing a water rescue, most of them will say, yeah. It's just language stuff. I just want to make sure
Well, I would hope you guys would bring us some language clean.
yeah, we'll work on that a little bit. I'm just. I understand what you mean and what you're saying. I just want to make sure that, just Joe Smith firefighter out there that reads this and says the definition is performing capable, guys at 15's going to
Does
say,
15s have a boat?
no, they don't.
They don't.
They don't,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying.
No, we're with you.
When you say water rescue station, and you're putting that in your definition as they're capable of performing a water rescue. They're fully capable of performing a water rescue out there by grabbing the, grabbing a tube and life vest and go out there and rescue somebody. So is that, that's, I just want to clarify that definition a little better.
Right, so I'm gonna come right back at you, Doug. Your own article that you wrote for specialty assignment has the word water rescue station. Can you define it?
Yeah.
Right, it's right there, right?
Has a vessel of 18 foot or larger. It has the boats in there.
Our intent is not to increase your 138 at all. That's not our intent.
No, that's fine. We'll just make sure it's clear. Okay.
We got, I think, two more. And we've actually kind of talked about these already, Gabe. Article 22, military leave. We would like for you guys to look at that and help us figure out a better system than, what we currently have, which is guys having to worry about taking exams while being deployed. Hopefully, together we can come up with some kind of plan that's better than what we have. Good.
Yeah, we can take a look at that. Just going back real quick on the specialty station assignment pay.
Yes, sir.
Go back to the numbers you guys gave us. So you guys are factoring the 138 or 175 in your you think it's gonna be 42,837 per year? Is that what you guys came up with?
That's what we came up with, yeah. So, and I think that's one of those questions we had last cycle when you guys proposed it at 155 and you're telling us it's only going to cost $926.
And I think that was factoring in, I guess, calculating it two different ways. It's only gonna be an increase versus the two calculations.
All right, so at the end of the day, it's only an increase of $50. If I take 50 and I times it by 138, I'm not sure that it equals $926.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll
Yeah, it's-
we'll look at that.
The math is y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I have one more proposal, then I just want to talk to you guys about a couple little things. The last proposal, Gabe, we've talked about it before. It's Article 32, Sections B and C. We would really like to go back to the 5 years and 8 years versus the 9 and 11. We're not trying to take anything away from the fire chief. He still has the moratorium, has a critical number and an acceptable number. We think it gives the department a little more flexibility. Those guys that are at like 7 or 8 years that maybe want to go to a specialty station. We're having a difficult time filling our specialty stations on 1 or 2 different shifts. It's because they don't have the personnel that have the 11 years. That's the biggest hangup. So, and we've had a couple of those vacancies that have been vacant for a long time. We have people in them, but they're not assigned to them. So where they can train every day and, I don't know, one of the things, we think it's important that our specialty station assignment operations, special ops, are proficient in their assigned specialty, whether that's water rescue, and specifically hazmat. And having those people that are dedicated to those teams instead of having roamers is what I call them, people coming in and out every shift, is of way more importance, not only to the safety of the firefighters, but more importantly to the safety of our community. So those guys, they train every day, Monday through Sunday. Holidays, I mean, Station 5 is relentless. Our hazmat station is relentless in their training. I know Station 4, Station 3 is our rescue team, our technical rescues, and they're relentless in their training. And having guys come in and out, you know, all hours of the day, all hours of the year, there's no consistency. You have that core group. I'll use Station 4 as an example. If they were short a tech, is what we call them, there's only 7 of them. If they're short 1 or 2 techs, that's a third of their team. They've got somebody filling those spots, but they're not proficient. So that's one of the reasons behind the 5 and the 8. We don't think it takes anything away from the fire chief. We actually think it gives him more flexibility to fill those positions.
And I think with these, and correct me if I'm wrong, this got instituted way back when, I think 2 or 3 contracts ago.
8 and 5?
Yeah, well, the 9 and 11.
I'm sorry, 9 and 11?
9 and 11 got
Yeah, it
put.
was an ugly year, 2016.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the underlying issue there was that, you know, there wasn't enough firefighters to.
And that's
yeah.
1,000% true. We were just coming out of some really dark places. We hadn't hired a class since 2009. From 2009 until 2013 or 14, we went 4 or 5 years, didn't hire a single person, and lost all of our knowledge. Naturally, those guys are generally going to be our older guys. They love that stuff. They live it. When we lost those guys, we were in a bad place in 2016. We really were. We worked with the city to fix it. That's how we got to 9 and 11 with the moratorium. You know, and under new city leadership, new fire department leadership, we don't see any problems, but we do see that flexibility. So anyway, we would like you guys to really consider that.
Okay. If you give us just, you know, maybe.
I got a couple things I want to say, if you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to, and I apologize, I forgot to mention this earlier. I want to circle back to the pay scale. One of the things that the pay scale does, once you do the math, you're going to see it really quick. It creates a problem in the firefighter 1 rank in that they don't get a complete raise that very first year and the first year only. We're going to recommend a $1,000 stipend for any of those members who are at 6 months or greater. And that's a one-time.
It's a one-time stipend of how much?
$1,000. Going to cost you about $100,000.
And that's for every firefighter 1 at the 6-month step or greater?
6-month step or greater. And I think that number fluctuates around 100. I think we're authorized for 105. Other than that, on the pay scale, we think that the model we're presenting is a very fair model, especially when it concerns step increases. And we look forward to seeing the math and working on it from there. The only other thing you guys had for us in your package, and I want to talk to you about it, Michael, is insurance. I'm still waiting on our expert, but I'm gonna throw this out for you. You know, we're talking about the HSA. We presented a proposal for a $200 increase on both sides of that, and for that to come out of the fund balance. We'd also like to talk to you, one of the things I forgot to mention in that proposal is when we hire these new firefighters, the last 10 years, it's been in January. And when we started the CDHP, those guys are getting a prorated HSA, yet you're not prorating their max out-of-pockets. Just give them the full HSA. That's all we're asking on that. That's in that proposal on insurance. The other thing we'd like to talk to you about on our insurance side, we're more than willing to discuss insurance, right? We're just not ready today. But maybe we tackle it a different way. Maybe we tackle it, we've got such a huge fund balance. Let's agree. Let's freeze our rates this year. Let's pay any increase out of the fund balance, and we agree to come to the table in May of 25 and find a solution. Whatever it looks like, it's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to look like. The thing about firefighters, especially this association, we're an all for one for all. I can't think of and maybe Desiree or Rebecca can correct me, but carriers don't look at a 200-person pool to set rates. Do they? That's too small of a pool to be accurate. You know, we're willing to look at it with you. Just not ready today. I was hoping to have it today, but I don't. And I honestly don't know what it's going to look like. Anyway, I would imagine by our next meeting I should have something. Maybe you can think about that, and we're more than willing to talk to you about it. And, you know.
Johnny, just a couple of things. What is the number that you guys have for all these proposals put together? What's that number you guys have for it?
We don't know how you're doing the math.
Do you have a ballpark for it?
Last time I gave you a ballpark, I got in trouble. I honestly don't. I really don't. What we would like to see, you guys have a really good mathematician. Have him put pen to paper. Let's see it. It's either going to be okay or it's not. We honestly don't know. I mean, if I give you a number and it comes in higher, they're going to be mad at me. If I give you a number, it comes in lower, they're going to be mad at me. You know? So we know some of it. Some of it's easy. I'll use this specialty assignment pay as an example. I see your formula. And all I can do is go in and change one number from 155 to 175. And it goes from $926 to whatever this says. But then I see this little thing at the end of that formula that says 1.2864. What's that? Okay, so that's what I thought. So Eddie, why is it when I take that number, and I'm just making up a number, and I plug 200 into it, it balloons to, I don't know, 300,000. If 155 cost $926 over 4 years, why does 200 cost $300,000 over 4 years? I don't know. So I'm not comfortable with our math. I think we're close, but I mean, I can do it right here if you want me to. Just change the 155 to 200 and see what happens. it's crazy.
He's talking about dog handler. He was talking about the dog handler.
Yeah. No, not dog handler.
The specialty pay. not
Specialty
dog
pay.
handler. Specialty pay. Dog handler's way more than that.
We're gonna caucus real quick and just kind of look over your proposal and any questions that we might have.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, Johnny, we took a look at your proposal. We're gonna run some of the numbers on it.
Thank you.
A couple things. First and foremost, on the healthcare, we're not interested in looking at freezing the premiums. That just goes against industry standard and, you know, all sorts of practices that we have for the city to continue to adjust those. The other question is, are you guys gonna be ready on Monday to discuss healthcare? Because I think looking at the numbers in the package you've given to us, we can't look at that independent from healthcare because it's all gonna work together in one, you know, overall package.
I'm gonna say no, we wouldn't be ready by Monday, not on something like that.
Okay.
What's your ideas? I mean, I need to know what the ideas are.
As far as what
Healthcare.
proposal? I mean, we have our initial proposal that, you know, we gave to you guys previously, and I mean, that's kind of what our sticking point is right now. The other item too is that there is gonna be an increase, which is federally mandated as far as the premiums, or I'm sorry, the deductibles. But I mean, it's just a conversation that needs to be had.
I think it might actually be a good opportunity for us to have some of those discussions, and they're going to be hard discussions. They're going to be very frank, you know. There's so many different moving components. Insurance is really dynamic, you know, and we understand fund balances. We understand how our plans work. We understand a lot of things on the insurance, and I have two guys that are really good. I don't think it hurts us to talk about it. If nothing else, we can kind of see where each of us are. Just like I believe, you know, we did see the proposal about splitting our plans, and I think our response was we're not interested in that. But it doesn't mean there aren't things that we can do. You know, we believe there are models. We're more than willing to talk about it. I think Monday would be really good to at least get the ideas. I can press our expert on getting me the information. I think we could definitely talk about it. I just don't know that we'll be ready to say, hey, that sounds great. So
Johnny, as part of the conversation in preparation for next week, so our proposal was to split the plan, and I know you're saying you're not open to it. However, I think the way it's currently written in the contract is up to interpretation, and we have not agreed on what that means. So I don't necessarily think that, what I think we're doing is we're trying to clarify that. I think in the past, we haven't agreed, we worked with you to ensure that we move forward in a positive way for you and the membership, and I think we did a pretty good job in the past, but I just wanted to state that what's in the current contract, I don't think sorry about that. I think it's left to interpretation. Ours is that it's two separate plans. Yours is that it's one plan. So as we're having these conversations, I just want to make sure that I state that now, so as you're preparing and looking at the contract, you could keep that in mind. So,
okay.
yeah.
And we've had this discussion ad nauseum for 3 years now.
Right.
And, I think one of the things we come back to, Michael, is the intent in 2020 was to not create two plans. You know, and that's where, I think that's kind of where we're at. But again, I'll say it one more time. I don't think there aren't things that we couldn't do to alleviate some of that pressure on both of us. I don't know what those things look like, whether it's plan changes, behavior modifications, and I'm going to tell you again, while Desiree's here, benefits, right, Desiree?
Yes.
One of the things we have to do better, not only as a benefits, as a city, and as an association of firefighters, is we need to better educate our members. I can't tell you how often it upsets me when I go visit the cadets on their second or third or fourth day, however, it's usually within the first 3 or 4 days. I'm always after benefits. I would rather you put me before benefits so I can talk to them about the CDHP. I'm not going to steer anybody, right? But at least they can understand it. Most of these firefighters that are young, 20, 22, 23 years old, they're single, got no families. Where do you think they should be going? But when I visited them this year, benefits had already been there. There's 29 of them, and 16 or 18 of them joined the PPO. And I was like, okay, you know, we just need to do a better, all of us. Not just, I'm not picking on benefits. These kids, they're going to put whatever you put in front of them. That's just, you know, how it is. But we're more than willing to talk about those things. I think Monday could be productive. I'll get what I can. We've got some ideas of our own. You know, just, Michael, just 4 years ago, we stepped out on that limb with you guys, and we fixed it, right? We can make it better. I agree. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
We're not closed to the idea. One last thing I want to say, and I'll get back to you, is, you know, there's potentially some things that wasn't in the package today, non-economic. I can't imagine you guys aren't going to bring the assistant chiefs, right? So we want to leave that door open. I think it's a smart thing to get the money out of the way. And then there's those little things like, you know, how do we make it better for, really for the citizens? How do we make it better for the firefighters? How do we make it better for the city? So, and I hope you guys are okay with that, you know, non-economic type stuff, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, I think
We've already posted, right?
Yeah, we've already posted for Monday, so. So then I think we'll just reconvene on Monday and we'll be ready to discuss healthcare.
Sounds good.
All right.